Welcome back to Having Coffee with Cullotta. Now, today's going to be a little different day. Blame it on him, Adam. I wouldn't do this, but he thinks we should do it. He's convinced me into showing you how to do a stuffed pizza. And I haven't done one in years. So this poor Adam had to go through all of this. But he's doing good. So I'm punishing him right now. So here we are. You ready, Adam?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right. You're the guy.
Cullotta, Cullotta, grab your favorite brew. Ask a question, he'll answer it for you. The Mafia, the Mafia, the Mafia, the Mafia. You better hit prescribe if you know what's good for you. Drinking a cup of coffee with Frank Cullotta. He'll tell you a lot. He's Frank Cullotta.
Ordinarily, one does not make a stuffed pizza for their home. It's usually we do it in a business because you have everything there and it's a lot easier to do. But it can be done in the home with you and your family. There's a process. Of course, you have to have your sauce or your gravy, whatever you want to call it. To me, I call them both sauce and gravy. I don't care. I know what it is. It's red. If it goes on meat, then it's brown. Okay? All right. We're going to start with making the sauce first, and then we'll go into the stuffed pizza itself. We're going to do this exactly how my mother used to do this. All the ingredients are from my mother, mostly, 99% of them. So I copied off her. Yeah, I did. She cooked good. What am I supposed to do? All right. You want to dice a half a pound of pork in cubes. My mother used to leave the pork and everything on the bone itself and dump it in the sauce. And as that sauce cooks for 2 to 3, 4 hours, all of that nice pork comes off of that bone, and it winds up with chunks in your sauce. And then when you're all done, you leave the bone in there until you're all done. Of course, you're not going to put it inside the stuffed pizza with your hammerhead. You're going to take it out. You're going to use all your other stuff. You don't even have to put the pork in there. You could use that pork later on for pasta. If you want to make, you're say you're going to have a dish of pastas on the side, you could use that pork for that pastas. So there's several uses that you could use that pork with. All right, then you want to throw it in the skillet with a little olive oil. You want to brown it. You don't want to cook it all the way, you want to brown it. Gives it a little bit of a bite. Once the pork is done, you want to add the garlic. You want to chop it down. Small little pieces. You want to cook it with brown it with the pork. You want to get 1 large can of crushed tomatoes. Add it with the diced pork. Then you want 1 small can of tomato sauce. Of course, you got to use tomato paste, so you want to use the small can of tomato paste. You want to add a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt. You need to have some basil, so you want to add a 1/4 teaspoon of fresh basil. You want to add a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano and 1/4 teaspoon of parsley. Once you have added all the spices, then you want to add some Romano cheese in there. Stir it up as much as you can. Don't overstir it. Stir it up so it all mixes together real nice, and you'll smell it. The key to all of this is you want to let it simmer for at least a couple hours, but you got to remember, you got to stir it slowly. You don't have to just stand over it and keep on stirring. You can walk back and forth, stir it very slowly for at least 2 hours. Don't burn the sauce. Every 10 minutes you walk over and stir it real nice. Keep it on a low flame. There's 2 things you could do to bring the acid out of your sauce. One is you could either put baking soda in there, a spoon of baking soda, or some sugar. You don't need a lot of sugar. 1/4 teaspoon, it'll draw all that acid out of there, which you want to get a lot of acid out of there. All right? I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay. Now, once that's done, the pasta sauce is done, you set it to the side. Put a lid on top of it. You don't want nothing flying around in there. Just put a lid on top of it. The next step is the dough. We need to start with 1.5 cups of water. Heat it up for 110 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to need 1 package of dry active yeast. Important. You know what yeast does. I hope you understand what yeast does. 1 teaspoon salt, a 1/4 teaspoon sugar. Mix it into the water and add the yeast. You're going to mix all of this together. Use a spoon or a whisk, whatever suits you. Let the water sit for about 15 minutes and you will see the yeast multiply. Once that's multiplied, add it to your mixing bowl with 3 cups of flour. You could do it by hand, or Adam is using a KitchenAid. Once the dough is to your consistency, use a hook or knead it by hand. You'll know, you'll feel it, you'll know exactly what you're doing once you're that far. If you've never done this before, what you do with the dough is you got a ball of it. You push down with your palm, roll it, push. You knead it with your fingers, you're stretching it, all right? You push gently. Once the dough is kneaded, you want to cover it with, you want to put olive oil, fresh olive oil on it until it rises. Once it rises, then you take it out and do what you're going to do with it. You leave it out, you let it rise. Once it's risen, you'll see it. It doubles its size. So say you got a league ball, right? Just picture a league ball. Then it turns into a 16-inch ball. Now it's risen, all right? Now you know where we're at. Now we're going to cut that dough in half. We're going to roll it out. As I said, you push like this with your palms, your hands. You roll it out. You got the roller, you roll it out. However you want to roll it out, just make sure you roll it out. Then the next step. Now we've already oiled the pan. You want to make sure it's on them sides, and you want to put it all over. All right. Now, this dough that you got, that you rolled out already, you want to place it gently in this deep dish pan. Once you place it in, you tuck it on the bottom, and the top, it's going to overhang a little bit. That's good. When it overhangs a little bit, you want to get your knife, you want to cut around there, so it's not hanging real down. You want to tuck it very gently around the ring of the pan. Now, it's in there. Let's start with the sausage. You want to take chunks of sausage, not links, chunks of sausage. You could buy it pre-made, or you could make your sausage, whatever you want. You want to break it up into pieces. You want to throw it in a frying pan, and you don't need to put oil in there because there's enough grease that's going to come out of there. And you want to cook it. Maybe you want to put salt, a little bit of salt, a little pepper, whatever you want. It's done when it's brown. You don't want no pink on there. What I want to do is I would usually lay it down on a towel, a kitchen towel, to absorb all that grease that's in there before I dump it into the pizza pan. This is what I would do. Once it's out of the pan, we're going to throw our onions and mushrooms, if you prefer it, in that same pan. So all that flavor's in there. We're going to cook it down. You want to cook it down. You can't cook the mushrooms too long, but that other stuff in there will flavor, it all flavors together. You want to put the sauce on the bottom of that pan where the dough's at. Now you want to add your cheese. Then you want to get your sausage. You want to dump it in there. You got your meats in there. You got your mushrooms. You got your onions. Now, there's other things you can add into that. Say you want pepperoni. You're going to have to take that grease out of the pepperoni the same way, but a lot less time doing the pepperoni. I wouldn't suggest that. You want peppers. Say you want to put peppers in there. Green peppers. You want to slice them and you want to chop them up. Cook them a little bit. You want to get them a little soft. You don't want to use pineapples. That's ridiculous. I don't believe in pineapples in a pizza. I see these people ordering pineapple pizza. To each his own. I can't imagine putting a pineapple inside of a stuffed pizza. Now, then you want to bring it to the oven. You want to put it on, I prefer to put it on 375. But remember, it's got to be preheated. Your oven needs to be preheated before you put that in there. So when you put it in there, you're going to put it in a preheated oven at 375. Now you're going to let it set in there. It all depends how good your oven is, how fast it cooks. You're not going to cook it all the way through. That's before you put the top on it. Because that cheese is fermenting and everything's cooking in there real nice. I'm getting hungry right now. I want a piece of pizza.
Don't forget to put more red sauce on top of the cheese before putting the second layer of dough on, the upper crust. I forgot to. Frank hollered at me. Okay, but I dodged the ice pick again. Well, maybe today I dodged the knife.
You don't want to overcook it now, because remember, you got to go back in there again for another 15, 20 minutes with the top crust. That's why I used to call my place the Upper Crust. You already got it laying there. Now you want to take that dough and you want to place it on top, and then you want to cut it with excess, tuck it around there, because it's going to rise, but not as high as you want, not as high as normally it would. It'd be silly. Slice very thinly, 2 strips down the center at the top. Once that's done, then you want to put a little red sauce on there. Little red sauce. You could put a little bit of Parmesan on now if you like. Remember, on the inside of the pizza, you don't use the Parmesan. The inside of this pizza, it's mozzarella and provolone, a mixture. That's on the inside. On the top, where I put the second lid of dough, that's Parmesan. Lightly sprinkle it. Put it back in the oven. Maybe 20 minutes. You'll look in there, check on it. Once you see that light, like it won't be dark, the dough, you'll see it. It's a nice color. Tan. Once you see that, and you see a little crust around the sides, pull it out. You can sprinkle more Parmesan on you. Let it cool off for a couple minutes. You don't want to cut it into it right away. No, it's very easy to come out of that pan. Once you got it done, you let it set for 5 minutes. You get it one of them, I forgot what they call these things. They're like a hook. You put it on there. This pizza is going to come right out of that pan. You got a spatula, pop it, it'll fall right on a dish or metal plate, whatever you're going to have there. Now you want to cut it. Don't use the regular pizza with them things with the roller on it. You'll squash the whole pizza. Did you see this knife here? It's a nice knife, ain't it? Scary. You go like this, you go to that, and come down and go like this. See? Then you slide the pizza around. Same thing here. And I said if you want to do it in quarters, I guess they're quarters, you go like this. Use it. You can get away with this knife. See it? Achha, don't get me mad. Beautiful.
What do you think, huh?
Now that's the way a stuffed pizza looks like. Don't believe these imposters that go out there with this shit. You got this on camera?
Yeah,
I want you to see that. You'll see them. They're not supposed to put the sausage and everything on top. It all goes in between all the ingredients. You see this? Look at this. Here's a piece of sausage right here. Look at that. Benedict, is it good? You can't have a bite either. All right? Look at that. Huh? Isn't that great? Hey, it's good. Now you can make your own pizza at home. And tell everybody. Usually say, don't tell anybody my recipe. Tell everybody. It's good.
Isn't it? Yeah?
That is delicious, Adam. Try that. Remember, that's Mama Josie. My mother's pizza.